Right now, going to turn our attention to South Carolina, North Charleston. We've got an officer, and he is convicted. Well, not convicted. He's actually been charged with murder at this point. And does he have any defense, Mr. Brian Bouffard, legal strategist?
You know, it's hard to say. I don't know that I have ever in my career seen a video as clear as this and an allegation of murder that is really this clear cut. I mean, he shot that man in the back. He was clearly not threatened, and he's going to face a tough road ahead of him.
We're talking with Brian Bouffard, legal strategist here on News Radio 610 WTVN about the shooting in South Carolina. Does this officer have a lawyer? I mean, who would pick up this case if that is that cut and dry and clear?
Well, I mean, you know, just because a case has bad evidence against it doesn't mean that people don't deserve a defense, and it doesn't mean that there aren't lawyers out there who would take the case. I mean, I would take the case.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that I would necessarily, you know, expect to win, because we don't get to pick our facts. We just, hopefully get to pick our clients. But that said, you know, I've done a lot of cases involving police shootings of my clients and police shootings of other people, and this case is just a perfect illustration of the need to require every officer everywhere at every time to be wearing a body cam. If he had a camera on, I don't think he would have done what he did.
Okay. Now, if you did take this case, what would be your defense of this officer?
Wow, you know, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but it's just impossible to say without hearing from him and knowing exactly what was in his head. But you know, if he were to tell me, hey, you know, I felt threatened, it was self-defense. I mean, you know, if I'm sitting on a jury, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
You know, the only threat to that officer would be if that man, you know, ran down to a gun store and purchased a gun and ran back and pointed it at him. And that's, you know, I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek because that's just ridiculous.
I understand. Now, what would happen here? I mean, what could you see playing out here? Is this guy going to get, I don't know, I've seen 30 years, I've seen life in prison, I've seen death penalty. What do you think would happen here?
You know, I'm not a South Carolina lawyer, so I'm not up on exactly what their punishment ranges are. But, you know, again, all I can tell you is if I'm sitting on a jury, I mean, I've got to be extremely upset at the idea that people wielding government authority behave this way. And if I were, you know, a member of the victim's community, I would be outraged. I mean, there's no excuse for what we're seeing on that video, none.
That's true. How do you think this is going to play out in the end?
You know, I hope he gets convicted. I mean, it looks to me like he's guilty. It looks to me like, you know, it's a heinous crime. It's not like, you know, I don't know, selling untaxed cigarettes or something stupid. You know, this is cold-blooded murder. And so, you know, if he did it, I hope he gets convicted and gets severely punished.
All right, I appreciate it. Brian Bouffard, legal strategist here on News Radio 610 WTVN on the shooting of an unarmed black man in South Carolina at the hands of a police officer.